Welcome to Pagan Coffee Talk. If you enjoy our content, please consider donating and following our socials.
Okay, so the other week we did an episode on the importance of doing your rituals, right?
Well, yeah, it was why worship is important.
Right. Well, we got a few comments. All right. Okay, like two.
Yeah.
All right. Which basically brought up the thing of like, I guess, sort of like, what do we mean by worship? I guess would be the best way to do it. 'cause,
I guess, yeah.
would be the way to say that. So I was thinking maybe if we walk through a few of our rituals and actually talk about them, maybe people might get an idea of what we're talking about.
All right.
So again, when we do, well, like, let's be honest, like tonight, I'll be going to full moon tonight, sometime later tonight.
Mm-hmm.
One of the first things we're going to do when we get there is we'll set up for ritual,
Right.
We'll set up the altar, right? Normally, first degrees help with that and whatever, and gives them some practice too on setting everything up and getting everything right. And to keep us dummies from forgetting stuff that we've gotten too old to remember anymore. But we start off by casting circle, correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, when we cast circle, now we've talked about there's different degrees in the circle and different things, but generally speaking, we cast the circle same way every time we're there.
Right.
It doesn't change. Because there's normally two of us that cast circles, especially during like a full moon.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So then after that, we normally read like the invocation of the god and goddess.
Right.
Now for us, this depends on what's going on. We could either invoke or just summon them into circle. Because, me and the lady are third degrees, so we do sometimes incarnate during ritual.
Right.
All right. Most full moons, we're not doing that. All right. Now, I'm not going to sit there and say that they're not still there in the back of your head during regular rituals, but
Right.
that's not about worshiping. All right. Then normally the lady will read the charge of the goddess to everybody. And then we'll actually start the main body of ritual.
Right.
All right. Now, you pulled up one for us to kind of discuss, but what's the purpose of this ritual?
Well, the purpose of this particular ritual was to discuss the importance of traditions in our daily lives, not just as part of the coven.
Those traditions that we meet in other families.
Right. Could be like, a movie night once a week.
A recipe.
Right. A recipe that's always done at least, once a month or at special occasions or whatever.
Yeah. Why in the world everybody fights over, grandma's recipe?
Right.
Insert whatever there.
Right.
So the idea here is to say, hey, even your spiritual family, we have these traditions, and these traditions even bleed out to our families and friends and stuff that we do, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So the idea is to show where in the world this custom and craft is actually carried out in mundane life. And it doesn't actually end anywhere. We're always doing traditions. We always uphold traditions.
Right.
All right. So it's sort of what in the world this ritual is about. Now, why don't you walk us through how in the world we wrote up this one ritual, I guess. What we're going to do is after we do the invocations, we'll start to tell everybody some things.
Right. Basically, what we do is we kind of give an explanation of what's going to happen, what this is about, So, in this one, we started talking about traditional family holidays. So, you're thinking Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, when families typically get together.
Right.
But things like Thanksgiving, it's not always the norm anymore because, now there's Friendsgiving,
Right.
where you have your friends come over, people who are outside of your family but important to you, and they come and they celebrate with you. Everybody sits down, you eat, you have a good time, blah, blah, blah. So this shows that it's not just blood relatives that are important in our lives. And so we tie that into all of us being children of the goddess. So this makes us all family. Well, then we need to examine, what does family mean to us? And then we look at who's part of our family. And is family something you're born into, or is it something that you are able to create and choose? And so then, being part of a family, it's all part of our daily life.
Right.
So we learn, we incorporate new traditions, we share our lives with these people, and you build deep connections, right?
Right. And again, so like during this ritual, everybody sort of like write down things that are in their traditions, everything's sort of put into a hat so everybody can pull out. And
Mm-hmm.
when yours comes out, you're allowed to talk and to explain, and why in the world you put this in there, and why in the world you consider this tradition.
Right.
And gives you a chance to express yourself.
Mm-hmm.
At no point in here have we even cast a spell
No.
whatsoever. All right, we're still not even casting spells.
No.
All right, we're just worshiping. We're doing something to align ourselves with our beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Now we do have some other ones where we're more celebrated on the god and goddess. Do you have that Yule one pulled up? Now, again, we're still going to do the same thing. We're still going to go in, we're going to set up, we're going to cast circle, we're going to do our invocations. Again, since we're dealing with a Sabbath, we may incarnate, may not. And then we're going to read Charge of the Goddess.
Mm-hmm.
In some circumstances, we read the Charge of the God, depending on the season.
Right.
Pretty much. And then we're going to get to the body of the ritual. Now, I will remind people, the lessers, we tend to focus more in on the god, where the grands, we focus more in on the goddess.
Right.
Now, that's just our tradition, so go figure.
Right.
Not all traditions do it that way, but we do. So this one will be focused more on the god.
Right. So in this one, I believe we created an effigy.
Yeah.
And we passed the effigy around and placed energy into it, and then placed our hopes, sometimes our fears, things we wanted to get rid of because it is a cleansing time of year. But anything, we place that all into the effigy, and then we burn the effigy.
Right.
And
Pretty
so,
standard.
yeah. So in this one, we basically, there was a little poem that was read while all of this was being done, and and then we burned the effigy.
Right. And the idea here is that the baby doll that we're sort of using
Mm-hmm.
or have made,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much, this is the sun god birth.
Right.
And the reason we're burning it is to let him go back up into the sky where he belongs and renew the sun.
Right. And to give him our energies to assist in that.
Growing and moving forward and
Right.
all this. So again, it's a celebration. Notice, no quote unquote magic. We never cast the spell.
Mm-mm.
Per se. All right. We might have used elements of a spell.
Right.
All right. Because we're using a puppet instead of an actual. All right.
Right.
Not going to do that. for real. But there's the point of the ritual is to celebrate and to give to the God.
Right. This is worship.
This is worship. This is worship to us. Now, again, you want me to sit there and tell you that you going for a walk out into the woods and you get a feeling or moved by nature or whatever, that this is not worship? I can't tell you that.
Right.
All right. I'm just saying it's not the difference between the two in my head is one's more of a formal style of worship where the other one's not.
Right.
That's more of random, to me, that's more random acts of spirituality.
I like that.
Well, again, we all experience them. I'm not saying that they're not there. I mean, that's like, you're in a bad mood or whatever, and you suddenly turn the corner and see a rainbow in the sky and you start smiling and feeling better. That's a random spiritual moment just for you.
Right. Well,
it wasn't. Oh,
no, yeah, you're absolutely right. And, if we look at the definition of worship, the definition just simply says the feeling or expression of reverence and adoration for a deity.
Right.
So worship could really be anything. It could be that walk in the woods. It could be just, sitting down amongst a pile of leaves.
Right. My only argument is that construction that we're getting together purposely to worship
Right.
during full moon is basically what we were talking about, is taking that time and constructing a ritual specifically to honor the god and goddess at their times.
Right.
Not to do, I need a better rate of my mortgage.
Right.
I'm not there and to cast a spell because my boss pissed me off.
Right.
All right. I mean,
we're not going to hex anybody in sacred space.
Right. I mean, don't get me wrong. Can we do spells inside of rituals? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They tend to be a little bit difficult, but, the majority of the times we do spells like that, I think the majority of the times they're going to be healing spells.
Yeah, probably.
Because we're trying to use the whole collective of the whole coven to help send healing energies to someone.
Well, and something like that is easy to get everybody onto the same foot and the same goal.
Than to just lower my mortgage rate.
Right.
Or I want a new job.
Right. That's a personal thing. Do that on your own time.
All right. That comes out better that way.
Right.
So again, here's where we're making that dividing line. All right. Now, I enjoy those moments. I mean, because I hate to be this way. Yeah, you could cast circle and just sit there and meditate on the god and goddess.
Yeah, you very well could. I mean, it's been done.
It's been done.
I know we've done that in some of our personal rituals.
Well, I mean, again, it's sort of in your personal. Well, for me, I guess in my personal rituals, it's easier just to do that and to feel and have those emotions than to actually have a constructed ritual where you're actually saying stuff.
Right.
Because to me, it's more about the feeling that I get, not what's actually the paper or whatever, even though the ritual does help.
Right.
I don't know how to explain that. Having ritual with other people, I'll just stand in there for 5 or 10 minutes just meditating. It gets a little boring.
It gets a little boring. It gets a little awkward. Because then you're like, okay, when do we stop?
Stop.
How do I bring everybody out of this?
All right.
It's easier just to keep everybody focused on something.
Right.
Yeah.
But sitting there and, doing a full moon ritual, and you're like, okay, we want to send our blessings and thanks to the goddess, sitting there and passing around a candle, and everybody keeps on praying on it or to offer thanks to the goddess and passing the candle around until it gets to the back, and then the high priestess lights it with the idea that the lighting of the candle is taking those prayers to the goddess.
Right.
In this case, we would probably go along the lines of, in the same way that the sun gives light to the moon, so are we. We are striking this candle to give our light, our feelings to the moon, so it can be passed on to the goddess.
Right. Yeah, you always want to bring it back to a central point and kind of relate it to what it is you're doing or relate it to your everyday life.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll be straight up and honest. I mean, if you're running a temple and you're doing this, it's a whole lot easier to have like 2 or 3 rituals for your Sabbats pre-written out and just rotate them out. I mean, because again, Samhain always tends to wind up being the same ritual. Maybe a slight difference or here or there. Yule tends to always be the same thing because
essentially, yeah.
Yeah, so there's no use in doing that. So again, your full moons is where you're going to have to be a little bit more creative. We normally suggest that people like try to do a theme or something if you're planning out rituals like this. So
yeah, things for full moons actually works really well because it gives you a central focus, and then you're able to tie all of that together throughout the year.
Right. I mean, you can do mystical animals, zodiac, tarot cards.
Right. Well, the series that we that we put out, the shorts for YouTube with the obscure and darksome deities, we actually use those for a series of full moon rituals.
Yes, our full moon rituals were based on all these different, well, not all of them, but different ones throughout the year.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
for just to learn about another god and another aspect, and some of these were the more quirkier ones, I have to admit.
It was fun.
It was fun, especially doing the full moon on the whole entire goddess of hinges.
Right? That was actually a pretty good ritual.
So this is what we're talking about in rituals. I'm not exactly sure what anybody else does. I mean, I know some people tend to want to do more like the Catholic thing, where it is everything's pre-scripted for the whole entire year. I think where because we've been to a few Catholic masses and stuff like this, and it is interesting that they have calls and counter calls to certain things that they do during their ritual. I'm not saying that we can't do stuff like that, but we are a little bit more free to change things up.
Right. Basically what we have a standard format, but then the body of the ritual is what is changeable.
Well, again, I've said it twice now. Our format is, we cast circle, then we do our invocations, then we read then we do the body of the ritual. Then we'll do our cakes and wine.
And then we close the space.
Close the space out. And normally we close out the space by singing May the Circle Be Open.
Right. Yeah. Everybody clapping or stomping or something. Yeah.
Something. Some of us don't have no rhythm, so we're just looked at really funny when we start to clap.
It doesn't matter. The charge of the goddess says all acts of love and pleasure are my rituals. So if it brings you pleasure, you stomp and you clap off beat all you want to.
So true. So true.
Right.
I want to sit here and say that I'm really surprised you never actually wrote a full moon with, that the song from the Carpenters, everybody, the sing your own song.
Oh yeah.
Make it happy.
That may be something. That may be something in the future. You never know.
Just saying, again, this is how we write rituals. All right. I mean, seriously. All right. I'm not trying to shame people who don't. All right. That's not what we're trying to do.
No, we're just trying to give you an idea of how we do things and what it means to us.
And what we're talking about when we're talking about worship, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about being in the presence of the gods and communicating with them, hoping they give us inspirations, hoping
Right.
they touch our lives,
Mm-hmm.
hoping they hear our prayers and all this, and going, okay, y'all, we see you. We might eventually give you some answers.
Right.
So is there anything else you'd like to say about this, or you can think that we can maybe try to help people explain what we mean by worship?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, if you're in ritual space, just keep in mind that there are many forms of worship, and as long as it's giving some type of reverence, um, or expression of feelings, anything like that, that in and of itself is worship.
Right.
You could cast your circle and just sing songs to the gods and goddesses.
Hey,
You could chant, you could meditate, you could drum. I mean, anything that helps you express, that is what worship is.
right. I encourage people, hey, yeah, start doing these rituals, start having people come over. I mean, again, ritual to me does always seem better when you have other people there with you.
I think so.
Because I've done rituals by myself, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, I have to give kudos to those solitaires who do their full moons every time and do their Sabbaths every time all by themselves. I could not do this
Well, and I think
like that.
it's interesting that you bring that up, because I think I see a lot of posts in various social medias where a lot of people just feel like they're not able to do things because they're not feeling it.
Right.
And I think that's part of the issue. I think if you're solitary, it's great to do your own rituals and create your own spaces and things like that. But every once in a while, get your friends together.
Well, I mean, even if you don't, doing your rituals by yourself, it's better than nothing as far as I'm concerned.
Well, it is, but and it's back to that. It, I think it's, and you think it's better with other people.
I do too.
Get your friends together once or twice a year, just to start with, and see what happens.
Just you and one other person.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be a whole group of people, just you and somebody else.
I cannot tell you how many times I've wound up, everybody getting busy around the holidays and nobody show up for full moon.
Yep.
How many times we done full moon, it just me and you?
Yep.
Because again, we say temple will, no matter what, we'll have ritual.
Right. We'll be doing this whether or not anybody else is there.
Right. So because we like that worship, we like being in those places,
Exactly.
in those states. So give it a thought. Tell us what y'all think. And please keep the comments coming. Share, like.
Yeah, I mean it's all helpful, when y'all send us comments, and you share and you like the videos and the podcasts and stuff. That all helps us, because then we know what you want to listen to. We know, what you want to hear.
Yeah, what do y'all want to hear about our tradition? I mean, basically that's what we're sort of sitting here always talking about, and the way we sort of do things to give other people ideas, and hopefully maybe we can inspire y'all to start your own temple one day.
Right. I mean, we've been, we keep making up the stuff, but we don't know if it's what you really want to hear. So it's always nice to get some responses.
All right. Well, I'm ready for some coffee.
Yep, let's go get some. Thanks for listening. Join us next week for another episode. Pagan Coffee Talk is brought to you by Life Temple and Seminary. Please visit us at lifetempleseminary.org for more information, as well as links to our social media: Facebook, Discord, Twitter, YouTube, and Reddit.
We travel down this trodden path, a maze of stone and mire. Just hold my hand as we pass by a sea of blazing pyres. And so it is the end of our days, so walk with me till morning breaks. And so it is the end of our days, so walk with me till morning